uphold human rights, promote accountability, and foster constructive relations with a wider Kenyan society. Article 238 further declares that national security must be pursued in compliance with the law, with the utmost respect for the rule of law, democracy, human rights, and fundamental freedoms. These constitutional provisions express a fundamental principle. Security and freedom are neither competing aspirations nor are they at loggerheads. In a constitutional democracy, security must protect public order without diminishing individual liberty. The police must protect citizens from crime, violence, lawlessness, intimidation, and disorder. At the same time, the authority of the police must be exercised lawfully, professionally, and with respect to the life and dignity of every citizen. A secure country is one in which a mother can walk home without fear, a trader can conduct business without intimidation, a family can sleep without anxiety, and a citizen can express an opinion, attend a political meeting, and cast a vote without coercion. This is how the Constitution becomes a lived reality. It happens when the rights written in our supreme law can be experienced in the everyday life of every citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, just like the rest of the world, Kenya is changing in significant and profound ways. Our population is growing, our towns are expanding rapidly, and technology is transforming both the nature of crime and the methods required to prevent or contain it. Criminal networks are becoming more sophisticated. Cybercrime, financial fraud, terrorism, human trafficking, organized crime, and technology-enabled violence demand new capabilities, stronger intelligence, and deeper cooperation among security agencies. The modern police officer must, therefore, be physically prepared, professionally competent, technologically proficient, and psychologically resilient. Modern policing cannot be measured only by the number of suspects arrested. It must also be measured by the crimes prevented, the lives protected, the confidence created, and the safety citizens experience. This requires officers who understand that courage must be guided by judgment, authority tempered by restraint, and enforcement anchored in law. So, wherever you are deployed, you must remain disciplined, impartial, incorruptible. Protect the vulnerable, treat every citizen with dignity, and reject every inducement to compromise your duty. Corruption, bribery, collusion with criminals, excessive force, and abuse of authority betray the Constitution, dishonor police uniform, and weaken the institution you have joined. Equally, we must recognize the many police officers who serve with courage and integrity, frequently under difficult and dangerous conditions. They protect our communities, rescue citizens, confront armed, dangerous criminals, respond to emergencies, and make sacrifices that often go unseen. You must add honor to that tradition. Trust will be one of your greatest operational assets. When citizens trust the police, they report crime, share intelligence, cooperate with investigations, and help prevent threats before they materialize. As I noted yesterday, our national task is not to choose between liberty and order, but to build an order founded on liberty and to exercise liberty in a manner that preserves our constitutional order. Every day, our police officers stand on the front lines of this delicate balance, protecting life and property, defending the rights and freedoms of citizens, maintaining public order, and confronting danger that the rest of us can live, work, and prosper in peace. For this demanding and often not so thankless service, they deserve our gratitude, respect, and unwavering support. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching another important moment in the life of our republic. The next general elections will be held on the 10th of August, 2027. Political competition is an essential feature of our democracy. Parties are at liberty to organize. Candidates must be free to campaign. Citizens must be free to assemble, listen, question, criticize, and choose. The police and other security agencies have a clear constitutional responsibility to protect the democratic space in which Kenyans exercise their freedoms. In recent months, we have witnessed growing concern about hired gangs and young people recruited, transported, and paid to disrupt political meetings, intimidate political opponents, and provoke violence. Let me be absolutely clear on this. Politically sponsored violence has no place in our democracy. The National Police Service and all our security agencies should therefore take firm, lawful, and impartial action against anyone who finances, organizes, incites, or perpetrates political violence. Do not arrest only the young people holding a weapon while allowing the person who recruited, transported, and paid them to escape responsibility. No politician is entitled to a private militia. No candidate has the right to intimidate citizens. No political objective can justify violence. Article 37 of our Constitution protects the right of every person, peacefully and unarmed, to assemble, demonstrate, picket, and present petitions to public authorities. That right must be respected and protected. At the same time, the Constitution does not protect arson, looting, assault, lawlessness, intimidation, or the destruction of public or private property. The responsibility of the police is to distinguish between peaceful democratic participation and criminal conduct. You must neither criminalize legitimate dissent nor excuse violence committed under the cover of politics. We must secure the election without compromising the democracy we are securing. Political competition must be a contest of ideas, policies, and leadership, not a contest of hired gangs, intimidation, or ethnic mobilization. The people must decide freely and peacefully who will lead them. Ladies and gentlemen, security is also indispensable to the development of a nation. Every ambition we hold for Kenya rests upon the foundation of peace, stability, predictability, and public confidence. This is why the National Police Service is not peripheral to Kenya's development. It is one of its consequential, essential foundations. As you are aware, Vision 2030 is approaching its horizon, and Kenyans have begun a national conversation about the Kenya we want to build beyond 2030. Security is first a constitutional right and a condition of human dignity. It is also the foundation upon which development is built. Therefore, when Kenyans ask what kind of Kenya they want beyond 2030, we must also ask what kind of police service Kenya will require. As law enforcement officers, you are not merely guardians of today's peace. You are partners in building Kenya's future. To our distinguished police officers, the government recognizes that performing policing or reforming policing cannot consist only of demanding more from our officers. We must also improve the conditions under which they live, work, and serve. We cannot demand professionalism, integrity, and sacrifice from our police officers while remaining indifferent to their remuneration, housing, healthcare, equipment, career progression, and psychological well-being. That is why we have progressively implemented the recommendations of the Presidential Task Force on Terms and Conditions of Service and the reform of the National Police Service, Kenya Prisons, and the National Youth Service. The three-phase review of police remuneration has now been completed. Entry-level basic pay for police constables has risen from 21,000 at the beginning of the review to 29,000, an increase of 36%. Salaries across other ranks have also been adjusted upwards. We will continue working with the National Police Service Commission and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to ensure that remuneration remains fair, sustainable, and commensurate with the responsibilities and risks carried by our diligent officers. We are also addressing the long-standing deficit in police accommodation. Under the National Institutional Housing Program, the security sector has now a pipeline of 47,000 housing units across 165 projects. Of these, more than 2,000 units are already complete, over 9,500 are at various stages of construction, and a further 24,000 are under procurement. Major developments are underway at the Kiganjo and the General Service Unit Headquarters in Ruaraka, GSU Training School in Embakasi, and at other strategic locations across the country. We have further introduced the Usalama cover under the Social Health Authority. More than 138,000 police and prison officers and their dependents have been onboarded and covered. The cover provides access to primary health care, inpatient and outpatient treatment, specialized care, and other essential benefits without co-payments or administrative barriers that previously burdened many officers and their families. At the same time, our police officers must be trained and equipped with the threats of today, not the conditions of yesterday. We are modernizing training in professional crowd management, intelligence-led operations, combating banditry, forensic investigation, cybercrime, emergency response, and the appropriate use of force. We are also strengthening mobility, air transport, surveillance, command and control, and providing officers with armored vehicles, bulletproof vests, ballistic helmets, and other protective equipment, especially when they operate in dangerous environments. Our objective is clear: a police service that is better trained, better protected, more mobile, and more capable must always be disciplined, accountable, and firmly governed by the law. Additionally, we are strengthening the mental health and physical and psychosocial support, improving equipment and mobility, modernizing training, expanding digital capabilities, and addressing career progression. Today, we are also unveiling a new uniform for general duty officers of the Kenya Police Service. This change follows consultations with police officers and the public in 2023, as well as recommendations for the Presidential Task Force. Officers expressed legitimate concerns about the current uniform, including its quality, suitability, and effect on professional identity. The graduating officers will be the first to wear the new uniform. It will then be progressively rolled out to general duty officers throughout the country, effective next week. The Administration Police Service and the General Service Unit will retain their present operational uniforms. We appreciate that a uniform does not necessarily create professionalism. Character, discipline, training, and conduct do. But the government has listened because the identity, comfort, morale, and dignity of our officers also matter. Dear graduates, you leave Kiganjo, you will encounter situations that will test your courage, demand sound judgment, and challenge your integrity. In those moments, remember that the person standing before you is not merely a suspect, protester, motorist, traitor, or political mobilizer. That person will be a citizen whose rights you have sworn to protect. Be firm against crime, but faithful to the law. Exercise authority, but remain fully accountable. Preserve order, but also protect freedom. Let the innocent find protection in your presence. Let the vulnerable find refuge. Let criminals face justice. And let every citizen know that the uniform before them stands for trust, equality, service, fairness, and justice. Your authority comes from the people. Your loyalty belongs to the Constitution. Your duty is to protect the Republic. Wear your uniform with pride, but earn its honor through your conduct. Once again, congratulations to every graduating officer. I wish you courage, wisdom, and distinction in your service to our great Republic. Na kwa wazazi wote mliofika hapa, nataka niwashukuru sana kwa mchango wenu wa kulea hawa vijana, kuwafundisha, na leo hapa wanajiunga na kikosi cha polisi cha taifa letu la Kenya. Hawa vijana mliotupa kama serikali ya Kenya, mimi nawahakikishia ya kwamba hawa vijana tutawalinda, tutafanya kazi na wao, tutawashughulikia, na maisha yao itaendelea na kuzidi na kuwa bora wakati wanaposhughulika na kulinda maisha ya taifa letu. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie Wakenya wote kwamba usalama ni ya muhimu sana katika maendeleo ya taifa. Hatuwezi kushughulika na mambo ya kilimo, maneno ya kusomesha watoto wetu na yale mengine yote ya kujenga taifa letu kama hatuna usalama wa kutosha. Na hawa officers, vijana wetu ambao wamejiunga na jeshi la polisi leo, ndio watakaotusaidia kuhakikisha kwamba kuna usalama wa kutosha, ndio tuweze kujenga taifa letu. God bless you. God bless the National Police Service, and God bless the Republic of Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Na Mheshimiwa Rais, huku gwaride likiwa limeweza kuonyesha yale maonyesho na vipenge vyote vya gwaride hili vikiwa vimekwisha kumalizika, hivi sasa wanaweza kuondoka uwanjani wakipita mbele ya jukwaa kuu wakiwa wanapeana heshima na salamu za mwisho kwako Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya na Amiri Jeshi Mkuu wa Majeshi ya Ulinzi. Mheshimiwa Rais, sio hatua ya kawaida ya kutoka uwanjani, bali ni ishara ya kukamilika kwa safari ya mafunzo iliyojengwa juu ya kujituma, uvumilivu, nidhamu na uzalendo. Kuanzia leo, mahafali hawa sio makurutu tena, wamefuzu rasmi na wako tayari kufanya kazi katika huduma ya taifa ya polisi, wakiwa wamebeba dhamana ya kulinda maisha na mali za wananchi, kudumisha sheria na utulivu wa kulitumikia taifa kwa uadilifu na weledi. Huku gwaride likiwa linaongozwa kuondoka uwanjani naye kamanda mkuu wa gwaride Bwana Daniel Kipkemboi, ambaye ni mrakibu mwandamizi wa polisi mwenye tunuku ya pongezi ya nishani ya mkuu wa nchi. Wanapoondoka katika uga huu wa kwata, Mheshimiwa Rais, wanaacha nyuma historia ya mafunzo na kuanza ukurasa mpya wa utumishi kwa taifa. Mbele yao kuna wajibu mkubwa, lakini pia kuna heshima ya kuvaa sare ya huduma ya polisi. Mheshimiwa Rais, nje ya uga huu wa kwata kwa wazazi, walezi, ndugu na marafiki ambao kwa muda mrefu wamewasubiri kwa hamu na maombi, na leo hii wanakwenda kukutana nao sio kama wanafunzi bali kama maafisa waliokamilisha mafunzo yao kwa mafanikio.
That speech by President William Ruto and the parade march off by the new police officers brings to respect the
my colleague Kamau there has said the conclusion here of a momentous occasion today where the officers you see not in contravention of any college here in Kiganjo, Nyeri.